Everybody, we are back. It is Taped on Launch, favorite is podcast, favorite is channel, favorite is everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also, follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL for me, at Glen Rockney for Glenn. All right. And also, of course, pandasups.com. We always talk about is bulking season, guys. You know, you're about to, deal with a lot of turkey, a lot of different stuff. Got to hit the proteins, make sure you're still working out. So that's when we go to pandasups.com. Like I say, he's a Raiders fan. So go ahead and support him and support his products. All right, Glenn, we're back after 2-week hiatus, man. It actually worked out perfect because there was no odds and bets while you were gone. So it was like destiny. Actually,
and I knew that would be the case. That's why I took vacation. Thank you for approving it at the TDL corporate office.
No problem, man. No problem, man. I always like to give PTO. You know, PTO is important in a workplace, and I think when you get PTO, people are excited to come back to work. So that's why I give you that PTO and that time off, man, for sure.
And the Raiders won, so that was nice.
Yeah, the Raiders won. At least they ended the winning streak last week against the Packers. The Packers. I mean, I was talking to Matt about this, man. That was a big test to see if the Raiders are going to be mediocre. So I'm like, okay, all right, we're mediocre. Okay, all right, we're mediocre. We're okay. We're mediocre. I could deal with mediocre for a whole season, I guess. You know, I don't know about the high draft pick, how high the draft pick is going to be this year, because we got the Patriots this week. We're going to be talking about, and if the Raiders don't win this game, man, I don't know what's going to happen. If the Raiders don't win this game, ain't no Connor to start. That's what I'm going to say about this one, because I don't have the Patriots scored a point in like 2 weeks. How many points they scored?
They have scored 3 points in the last 2 weeks.
Okay, so I mean, we only score like 17 a game, but that's better than 3. And so if they should win this game 17-6, whatever they need to win this game and how they need to figure it out, they got to win this one. I don't. Man, if they lose this one, I'm gonna be really, really.
Well, and if they win, they become like a buyer almost in the trade deadline, which is kind of crazy when you think of. I mean, because it's like, you might look. Are they two? If they were to win this week, you'd have a win over 2 not that great teams, of course.
Yes.
And then the worst team in the NFL would be your 3 wins. But still, you would be like, well, I might be able to go get a kind of rotational defensive tackle, another linebacker, something like that. Whereas you might not make that move if you're 2-4 or whatever. So and look, the ball bounced their way last game.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about that the ball tipped into the air and went into Robert Splain's hands. When is the last time you saw that? Like where the ball didn't just go shoot out of bounds? Like I remember when the Niners got a fumble 2 weeks ago or whatever, or a week ago, and it just almost spun right on the out of bounds line and they picked it up. I was like, that's the luck the Raiders need to start getting. So like, if they can just get a little luck their way, I think they can be above mediocre. It sucks because you can't quantify it. You can't notify it on film. You can't really see it on film, but they're going to get lucky. They might get lucky. Please.
Well, the defense has been playing pretty good all year. I mean, to be honest, I mean, we could probably pull some stats, and it probably doesn't look the greatest. But I think they have a formula that they like to play, and a lot of NFL quarterbacks can't play it. Let's keep it real. I mean, a lot of NFL quarterbacks aren't patient enough to go consistently down the field. Justin Herbert, he even struggled with it because he's trying to prove something. I feel like he's reading so many critics about him. He's acting like I did compliment Derek Carr coming out, but now he's trying to force the ball downfield. I feel like he's trying to do it so much because he's so hearing those things, and I think it's getting to him a little bit. But that's why he had a little problem with Patrick Graham because he was just forcing the ball downfield. But Josh Allen tore him up. He's like, okay, if you can just give me, I'm just gonna go to James Cook and this guy and that guy, and we'll do little 5-yard passes, and we'll just score in the red zone, and we'll beat you 38-10. And a lot of quarterbacks aren't going to do that. That's why I think this defense is kind of settled in a little bit, and you see kind of Patrick Graham kind of mix it in, and this offense isn't playing well, so I think they're kind of stepping up. I think Max Crosby and those boys are stepping up a little bit because the defense just isn't playing well enough. So the offense isn't playing well enough.
Mac Jones, I think, has to get aggressive this week too, right? Like you think
about
it.
Is he starting this week? Are we sure he started?
I thought they said he was going to start, but then I heard who's the Louisville kid that they drafted? They also said said he could be seen playing at some point, but he didn't say this week. I thought Mac Jones. I thought they said even after the game when they got whooped, they're like, nah, no changes. It'll be Mac Jones. who I thought they said. Perhaps I don't know. I perhaps he does, but at the end of the day, man, any of those three quarterbacks, you can't lose to them. I mean, all three of those quarterbacks, regardless. I understand there's no film on Malik Cunningham or then there's some on Zappy, but like, and perhaps they're watching all three of them, but those are still three quarterbacks you can't lose to. I mean, it's just regardless. It's not like they have some, Case Keenum or like somebody like a high quality backup back there. They don't. There's not Gardner Minshew on that roster. You gotta win.
I mean, it could be Bailey Zappi, man. I mean, Bailey Zappi, I guess, is not the worst quarterback in the world, maybe, but he's still a backup. And that's what I said. I mean, I remember a lot of people on Twitter got mad at me when I said, okay, after they lost to Josh Allen, like, well, they got Kenny Pickett next week and a lot of worse quarterbacks. I think they might play a little better. And I think we've been seeing that. But the offense is what we're talking about because it's odds and bets. And his offense just has not been very good right now. A lot of that has to do with Jimmy Garoppolo, right? And he's back. And I think he's just he is what he is. But so what are your thoughts on Jimmy Garoppolo? I mean, last week, he makes me not want to watch film. No, which bothers me. Like I don't even want to watch the film.
Every single time he drops back, it feels like something catastrophic is going to happen, and then occasionally it's like, oh, nice, like something like just a 7-yard game or gain or something, and. I don't know. It's just when they got him, I'm just like, oh, maybe the familiarity. It's clear. One thing that made me happy was the rumors that came out this week was that like maybe he wasn't the guy that they wanted all year. It was just who they ended up with. Kind of bad luck. Because you hear about, we tried to trade up, we tried to do it. At least they weren't like Jimmy's gonna be our next quarterback for 5 years. At least they didn't think that. That's because it's not good. It's terrible. You have a team that's run by. You and I don't think this, but he was hired to be an offensive mastermind, Josh McDaniels. Yeah. And it's actually a miracle that they're not 0-5 because I don't know if you saw that graphic where teams that didn't score the average or couldn't score 20 points at least once in their first 5 games, almost all of them were 0-5. So it's kind of crazy. It's kind of uplifting to the point where like if the O-line run blocks a little bit better, stuff independent of Jimmy G, like perhaps they can score more and win more games. So I am actually I was really mad after the Steelers game, like hated it mad. Yeah. After this one, I was kind of like, look, they won, the ball bounced their way, and I feel like they're not as even Josh McDaniels' conservative decisions shows me that Jimmy's not the guy. Yeah. So it's kind of at least they're not like, well, no, he's our guy forever. We'll figure it out. Which that scared me.
See, my thing is, if Jimmy's not the guy, because, I mean, you still almost beat the Chargers after Aiden O'Connell had like 8 turnovers. He looked terrible in the first half. But I think, which I liked about him, he realized, like, I'm never going to play again, so I might as well just fucking throw the ball. So he just started chucking it everywhere that he could throw it. And I really like the guts of that. But it's just like this last game, does Aiden O'Connell really lose that game? I mean, was he cause more fumbles? I mean, they turned the ball over. Does he lose that game? And that's kind of the aspect of it because he put up 17 points too. So, and if he didn't have the same red zone play called twice in back-to-back possessions, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he puts up 20.
I'm with you. No, and if they're under 20 points this week, maybe they even make the switch after a win. If they win, I could see it. I could see it, like to the point because look, there's some missed play. If you're cooking because it's nice to know that McDaniels isn't the reason they can't score 20 points. That's actually not the reason, right? Is McDaniels because there are guys running downfield that are open. Yes. It's not if everybody was locked up and the defense just knew everything that was going to happen. At least we know that, and perhaps McDaniels, if it's another nail-biting win, which is I'm just being optimistic about our worst case scenario. Hopefully it's just a worst case scenario is nail biting win. Perhaps he makes the switch. Perhaps he does because of all the stuff they tried to do around draft time, because of all the stuff that maybe they had other plans. Maybe they tried to get Rodgers, which imagine that, right? Like if they tried to do all that stuff, then perhaps they're not as married to him as we thought.
Yeah. And this offense is like so downfield, which is, like people try to get on Tom Brady, but Tom Brady basically just ignored Josh. So we have to kind of just throw him out there. Like Josh might be called these deep digs too. And Tom Brady's like, okay, this is stupid. James White's getting a 1-on-1 right here. I'm going to throw to James White. I think we have to kind of ignore that right? Because he was in the offense before Josh McDaniels was calling it, and so he knew the offense just as well as he did. And a lot of these guys are coming in; they're depending on Josh McDaniels. So there's a lot of these deep digs that he's expecting Jimmy Garoppolo to stay in the pocket, and Jimmy Garoppolo just starts shaking because it's just too much for him to stay in the pocket that long. He's got to get these quick throws. I think like in the second half, they did some more quick throws, and it looked a lot better.
Yeah, that third down to Myers, where Myers just kind of slipped in on a slant. That was beautiful. It was perfect timing and everything. I'm like, this is what you need to do. You have these good wide receivers, but it is weird. It's like one guy's the system is the system, and the quarterback saying, "No, I'm who I am," and they're not. It's not meshing on in that sense. Kind of the opposite of the Brady thing, where it's just, and he's just not as smart as Brady. No one is the Jimmy G. So yeah, it's just let's just. I don't know. These guys need to just start. They need to run block better, play Thayer Munford. Like there are Michael Mayer a little bit more. There are solutions. There's even a backup quarterback that I think is pretty good. So at least they're on the roster. At least the solutions, I think.
Yeah.
Are they a playoff team? Are they a contender? I don't know about that. But there are solutions to make them a more watchable team. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, they are a mediocre team. That's what we learned last week.
Right.
I mean, I think that is going to upset fans at the end of the day because there's no like Caleb Williams coming in, right? But I mean, obviously they're mediocre.
First off, there's like 6 quarterbacks that I think are really good in this draft coming up. Second off, every year a team trades up, and we already know, at least we know that the Raiders were trying to be that team last year. The Texans and the weird Bears trade that involved a Pro Bowl wide receiver. Panthers trade that doesn't happen most years. So like this year, those same teams aren't going to need a quarterback per se. Maybe the Bears might, but they might just have it with their pick. But this year they can make a move. If they're around the 10 to 13 range or something like that, there's no reason you can't get into the top 5. Like you can.
Yeah. I will say too. I think the Bears wanted Devontae Adams, and I'm pretty sure they hung up.
You're right. You're right. At least something, a good starting caliber wide receiver. Which at that point, what am I trading for the quarterback into the top 5 for if I'm giving up his number? We saw with the Panthers. That's not working for the Panthers. So
no, it's not. So they wanted Devontae for sure. All right. Here we go. Let's get into this. Let's get into the betting. That's what we're here for, guys. We're here for the betting. Let's start with Jimmy Garoppolo, who, the usuals. I mean, the only time he's been over 32.5, it didn't look really good on offense. Let's keep it real. I mean, we were all frustrated that game. We were ready to take his head off. We're all ready to see AOC the last time he got over 32 attempts. The couple games he's got under the 2 wins has been 26-31. So, I mean, if the Raiders want to win this game, he's got to be under 32.
Yeah.
So, I think the Raiders are going to win this game. I just have a feeling because I don't think this Patriots team is very good. They're not good on defense. So if the Patriots aren't good on defense, they aren't good. So especially without Tom Brady. Yeah. So I think he's gonna be under the 32. I think he's gonna hit over the pass completions. I think he's gonna be like 23 for 30 because he's usual, typical, whatever. But I think he's gonna be under the pass yards. But I see him over the touchdowns. But of course, he's gonna throw a pick. So
yeah. Yeah, as Diego pointed out in the chat just now, anytime interception is free money for Jimmy. I mean, it statistically is true. You can argue the funny thing is I don't think anybody on Raiders Twitter is like a Jimmy G fan. So you could just I know you can just trash him. Like you're not worried about anybody. Even his family's like not going to get at you because that hasn't stopped other Raiders players. But you have he's definitely. Yeah, I'm hoping he's under 32.5. I'm hoping the game script is a lot of Josh Jacobs. I'm hoping the Patriots are really banged up on defense, really banged up, and a lot of it's up front. Godchaux, I know Judon went on IR last week. They definitely missed him. And other than like Josh Uche up front, it's pretty desolate up there. And I think that the Raiders really want to win this game with number 8. I think they really want to pound the ball. And I would look at the passing TDs. I do think they're going to be able to throw the ball. Mm-hmm. I think that Mayer. Nobody's known more than me how good Michael Mayer is. I've watched him all through college, and I think he's going to start really popping off the screen to everybody and getting some balls and running. I mean, he should have had an extra like 30-yard gain last game if I don't know if he stopped running or whatever, but it was one of those things. I think Jimmy's going to get 2 passing touchdowns plus an interception, under 32, over 22. And the passing yards, under.
Yeah, under. I do see a lot of people talk about the O-line. I mean, I did show on Tape Don't Lie how the O-line did give him some great pocket. He's only under pressure like 25% of the time. It's just we see the sacks and then he like shakes. It always looks like he's under pressure. You're always going to feel that way as a Raiders fan. He always looks like he's under pressure.
Does he drift, or is that just me? Like, it seems like he kind of drifts.
He just always looks that way.
Yeah, it drifts a little bit. He kind of drifts a little bit. It's weird, and it's like I don't think there's like any rhyme or reason to where he's going either. Sometimes I'm always like, it reminds me of like Malik Willis did that when I watched him with the Titans last year. I'm like, where are you? Are you supposed to be creating more time, not just kind of like go? I haven't feared. I think the O-line has some trouble run blocking, of course.
Yeah, it's terrible.
But like the pass blocking, it doesn't. I don't think it looks that bad. Like I know the sacks have happened, but I don't think it looks that bad.
No, because every time I watch the broadcast, I'm with every fan. I'm with all you guys. The offensive line looks terrible on the broadcast because you're just watching it. And he just always looks under pressure. He does. He just everything, his movements, the way everything feels, him bailing a pocket under it is him bailing a pocket. He makes it look like he's under pressure. So it always feels that way as you're watching it on the broadcast. And I agree because I go in my instant reactions like, oh, the offensive line was terrible. They can't pass protect. And I watch the film like, what the hell are you doing? And that's basically how it is. It's I don't know. It's sometimes I wish I was a Raiders fan and I didn't watch any film. To be honest, I was with you guys.
No, it's still depressing. Trust me.
Wish I didn't watch any film. I can just be like, oh yeah, and just keep it moving. But I'm over here watching it. I'm like, what the hell is happening?
Yeah,
they get upset. All right, so but yeah, that's what bothers me about him is just like even when he's not under pressure, it feels like he is like it's about to happen. Like if he gets hit early, that's the problem. Like the Raiders have to find a way to keep him clean and get some sacks later on in the game because if he gets hit early, man, you're not going to be able to move the football. And that's the big problem with him. And I mean, like 2 hits. All it takes is 2 hits on Jimmy Garoppolo. And he's thinking about, am I going to be clean enough to go out in the Vegas scene later on? So if he doesn't, that's what I'm saying. Like he doesn't want to get hit at all. So if he gets 2 and then it's just not good after that, man. And then it looks like the offensive line looks terrible and everybody just gets slandered. So I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. Somebody's pointing out in the chat, and I totally agree with this. This team isn't like built or constructed for Jimmy G to succeed, right? Like, and I'm not saying that they've done a bad job, but I think their skill positions are really good. What I mean is like Trey Tucker, DeAndre Carter, Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers is the only guy that's like a Jimmy G receiver, and it shows. Michael Mayer too.
Hunter Renfrow would be too. You would think Hunter Renfrow would be.
Yeah.
But
Michael Mayer though is not. He look at Brock Purdy's Pepper and George Kittle all day. George Kittle forgot what it was like to catch passes. He was just all day. He was just catching. So it's funny. Like they do seem to be thinking about their next quarterback. I don't know. That's just wishful thinking. Here.
Are they going to make it? I hope that's what I'm saying. Do they really feel that comfortable that they're going to make it there? That's tough when you have Jimmy Garoppolo out there, and then you don't call a timeout before a halftime.
Yeah.
Like that's because you don't want him throwing the ball a lot.
Of course. Yeah.
So if you feel that way, like those season's already over.
Yeah, make the move now. Yeah, make the move now. I agree. They should make the move. It should have been Aiden last week, win or loss. I would say the same. But nah, I agree with you. I'm thinking long term. Like I was scared that McDaniels was going to have this lifetime contract simply because he would commit to guys like that all the time. But at least to me, it made me excited that maybe they'll commit to a rookie, like a good explosive rookie, if it doesn't work out. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe. I don't know. It's just if you feel that way about him, especially Adams he's been talking a lot of crap about the offense.
Of course.
So who is he talking about? You know what I mean?
Thank God his old team scores less points. Thank God. Yeah,
because he has not been quiet about the offense.
No.
And yeah, man, they got to do something. And he said a lot of good things about the backup.
Of course.
He had rave reviews.
Jimmy G might also break his collarbone. I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but like this guy gets hurt all the time. I'm just saying, like I think,
every time he gets hit, it takes a little bit for him to get up.
I think eventually it's going to be Aiden's team this year. Sadly, I'm not trying to be negative. They just won, and we're having fun on Friday night. But I think this is more fun for fans right now. Is who's the next quarterback, because it is that annoying to watch.
It is at this point. Like it's been 5 games, and I was wondering how long it would take for Raider Nation to, Raider Nation was hyping up Jimmy Garoppolo before the season, like he's in the red zone, he's the king, he's going to be so improved. You saw guys like doing these, putting their whole career on the line to say Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be better. And I was just watching. I was like, man, you guys are crazy. First of all, you obviously don't know what you're getting into. But it took 3 weeks, and that's what I thought. It was take about 3 weeks before Raider Nation turned on him, because after the Steelers game, they were all done with him. Everybody was done.
I agree.
3 weeks, all it took. All right, so let's get to Josh Jacobs, who actually has been looking more fresh lately, right? I really have been impressed with the way he's been playing. The offensive line has been as bad as you can see run blocking. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if it's cadences. I don't know what this looks, but their run game has been figured out by the NFL. So they got to figure out what the hell they're going to do. I don't know what it is, but Jacobs has looked a lot better. Rush attempts, I don't know. I mean, hopefully we get over 17 and he has a pretty good game. I think he had 20 last week. I believe that. I think he can get over 68.5. I think he's due. He is due, in my opinion. I feel like he keeps busting out. He's breaking more tackles each week. He's doing something better each week. He's due. I think he's going to get over 68 this game. Of course, with Jimmy Garoppolo's quarterback, he's getting over 21. He's getting over 4 receptions. And we're going anytime touchdown. I'm taking the over on all of these and the anytime touchdown on Josh Jacobs this week.
Yep. Yes, is across the board. I think when I saw last week, because that was the problem at the beginning of the year, was the O-line was figured out and Jacobs was rusty. Preseason's over, right? It's over for Josh Jacobs because he didn't have preseason. I'm not saying he would have been playing in every preseason game like he did last year, but I'm not saying he would have been in there, but he would have been in training camp, had practices, blah, blah, blah. He looked like he hadn't been hit in a while. He didn't have the wiggle that he had. Last week when I saw him just plant on Jair Alexander, plant that foot and just cut up field, I say he's back. Because that run right there, that's Jacobs. That's Josh Jacobs. That's why you have him. That's why he's different than other running backs. And I've been critical about paying him. I don't think they should pay him. I still don't. I mean, it's just not. You see what happens. Like, would you rather Jacobs be doing this on a 4-year deal right now, knowing that you have to figure out this run game and maybe spend on the guards and stuff? Yeah, exactly. That being said, he's going over on all of these. Anytime touchdown, absolutely. He's getting one. While Jimmy Garoppolo is the quarterback, I would take a Jacobs anytime touchdown from now on. Just for the simple fact, I think that's just the way it works. Other than like these little slip routes from Jacoby Myers, the touchdowns just don't seem to happen inside the 5 at the hands of Jimmy Garoppolo. And receiving yards, I love using him as a receiver. Even if he has figured it out on the ground, I still on like first down, I think it's a free 7 or 8 yards for them to use him as a receiver. He hardly ever gets tackled by the first guy when he gets about 3 or 4 yards of space between the linebacker coming up to get him. And 68.5. If the game's close at all, which again, we're having a different conversation about quarterbacks if this game is not close. So you have to realize that. Yeah. If the game's close at all, he's getting over 17.5 rushing attempts. Like that's just the way Josh McDaniels does it. Yeah,
100%. And him as a receiver, he's grown us a lot, man. I feel like
so good.
It's interesting. Like they can't run the ball right now, but he looks like a better 3rd down back, a 3-down back for some team. The Raiders got to figure it out. I don't know if you let him go. I know running backs, it's a lot of money, and you don't want to pay value running backs. But I will be upset to see him go because he is just kind of emerging. He was not a 3-down back like this 2 years ago, right? He wasn't blocking like this. He wasn't catching the football like this. He wasn't running routes like he is. This is kind of bothering me right now because he's not getting the rushing yards, right? Yeah. I got my beer. I got my Voodoo Ranger.
They're telling us to chug, but this is too expensive. This is too expensive for me to chug.
Yeah, you're fancy. You're fancy.
This ain't no Bush Light, dude. Come on, I'm not in college anymore. Get the fuck out of here.
Anyways. I'm back to Jacobs. But yeah, he's becoming such a 3-down back. Like, man, I'm gonna be upset. if he goes. I kind of think he still might, but
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna bother me because as long as he doesn't go to like Mike McDaniel or something, I have to watch him like do something stupid or
for me, it's the
Devon
injuries.
Chain.
It's the injuries.
Yeah,
It's just the injuries. When do they start happening? I want if it's 1 year of dominance that I miss out on for letting him go too early. If the next, because it's gonna happen, right? I mean, even look at Derrick Henry right now. He doesn't look that good. Like that's the type of workloads he's been getting, and it's just that's the issue with paying him. Now that being said, this year, feed him, run him into the ground, feed him, figure out a way, put Thayer Mumford out there on the right side. He should be starting this week. Like you can run that outside all day on him. Like I would prefer they do that. But if the Patriots might be missing 2 defensive tackles this week, if that happens, pound the rock. Like you say that about Jimmy, this says a lot about Jimmy. This says a lot about the O-line if they can't dominate reserves on the Patriots.
Yeah. Yeah, but the Patriots, they're going to come to stop Jacobs. They're going to make Jimmy Garoppolo beat him. Because they were never fans of Jimmy over there. So I always tell the story how when Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt and Tom Brady locked him out of the TB12. TB12 place.
Yeah.
That's the funniest story. That is the most like asshole thing that you could do. He can't even get in the training facility. He's like, nah, man, you can't come.
God, I can't wait till we have a guy like that just locks players out of the facility because he's too good.
Because the facility is his trainer. He's like, nah, man, you gotta go. Go somewhere else.
Instead, our good players go to Top Golf and anyways. We don't have to rehash that. We don't have to rehash that. No, I want the psycho good player quarterback that we have for 20 years. When are we gonna get him? Please, one time in my life. But who's next?
It needs to happen. All right, we're at Davante Adams. Davante Adams, who has been pretty damn consistent, even with Jimmy Garoppolo. He had that great game against the Steelers. He's basically over 70 yards every single week. This past week, he didn't get any targets really, but I mean, they were doubling the hell out of him.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Josh McDaniels going to move him. So I still think this week, just because how much man the Patriots play and what they're going to do, they're going to try to stop him as much as possible. I still think he's going to get some chances against man-to-man. We're going to mix it up. I mean, they ain't got McCourty no more. A lot of those safeties that help them double team a little bit. That's probably why they're struggling a little bit. They don't got those big time safeties anymore. So I think he's definitely going to hit over the receptions. I'm a little bit concerned about that one though, because I feel like they're not going to let him get like big plays.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to let him tackle a lot. But I feel like he's still going to get over 7 receptions. I feel like he's a bit under the receiving yards. And then, of course, I feel like he's going to get a touchdown, 2 touchdowns, plus 750. I think if you just want to take a gambling chance, it's Davante Adams, 2 touchdowns, take it. 80-plus yards. Of course, I just said don't take it, but plus 115 is still a pretty good bet for that. What do you think?
That's good value at the 80 yards. I mean, I don't know that it's going to hit, but if you're getting plus value on something, top 5 receiver in the NFL getting over 80 yards, I get it. The only thing I'm scared of with him is he's a little bit hurt, and he's going to have to get yak to hit these numbers. I mean, let's be real. He's not getting hit down the field. That's not the way the Raiders bank account is set up right now. It's just that they are not hitting him down the field in stride. So that's going to be tough. I like the reception over kind of anytime TD is still fine with me, because I do still think he's the guy in the red zone passing game. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be tough. I wonder. I have a question for you schematically. What is stopping them from sending a guy? I know Trey Tucker's kind of banged up, but like a guy like DeAndre Carter or Trey Tucker, sending him down the field to kind of clear out the underneath a little bit, and just letting Adams work underneath. Like why does it? That's your quarterback. You know what I mean? Your quarterback throwing to his best receiver should be what we want to have happen right now. And I'd like to see those speed guys to go deep and just clear everything out. Is that happening, or is it not happening? I don't know.
No. They run dagger, and they make Adams run the 20-yard dig. Yeah.
I would love.
I mean, they love the dagger. They love the dagger concept over here. But that was my whole thing with Adams, because they have the play, like it's famous play is called Haas C Juke. You could run that play with Adams over and over and over and over again. You can just move him inside. It is the ultimate play for him because he could do whatever the hell he wants. He can go inside, he can go outside, he can stop. So if he's going to be wide open, and you could most of the time, if you're facing zone, you're going to get him matched up on a linebacker. Yeah. I don't know. Move him inside. There's so many things in this offense that if you moved him inside, it would be easy to work because you could make him Julian Edelman, you can make him Randy Moss, you can make him whatever the hell you want to make him.
Yeah,
but he's like, you're Randy Moss. So
yeah, and I have Tom Brady at quarterback. But yeah, no, exactly. But like I said, keep me. If you're running dagger every play, you got to keep me away from daggers during Raider games because
I know.
Yeah, it's not safe to be left around me during watching this offense.
Every third down and 10, we're getting dagger at least. I do want to let everybody know we're going to get to your questions at the end. So you have any questions? I do see some questions. We'll get to them at the end.
Yeah, the chat is active. The chat is active.
I like it.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Mm-hmm. Love it. All right. Let's get to the next wide receiver who gets the best here is Jacoby Myers, who has become like Mr. Number 2. Jacoby Myers, I still think you kind of see that why he's the number 2. He could really never be a number 1, and I really hope Devontae Adams doesn't get hurt too much. But I think that he's been pretty consistent. I think he hits over 5 receptions too. I'm so tough with him on the over 55, but I think he hits over 55 on this as well because I feel like they're like really the only 2 guys that get targets. So I feel like he's going to go over 4.5, over 55.5. I wouldn't take the 70+ yards, but that's a decent bet. Anytime touchdown, I might take that too because I feel like that it's just those 2 in the red zone right at this point, right? It's Jacoby Myers, Devontae Adams. Jacoby Myers, Devontae Adams. I think they have all the touchdowns in the red zone maybe as receivers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. I mean, what if you spread it a little? I mean, like that's not a bad strategy. If your only 2 bets are Adams and Myers anytime touchdown, either of them hits, it's plus odds. It covers your other bet. Like that's not bad. No, I mean it's like I think it's actually a pretty good strategy. I like it. Plus 155 is good. I don't think Vegas has caught on to like Myers being the guy yet. I think that's something only Raider fans know.
Yeah,
and defensive coordinators. But the 70+ yards, that's a little high. That's the one I think Myers will be he's more of a touchdown, 50 yards and a touchdown kind of guy. But he does. I mean, he moves the chains for them. I like him a lot. I like the signing when it happened. I was kind of like, are we building for a quarterback? Like, are we building for like a guy to spray the ball around the field? No, not yet. But this guy's under contract next year. Adams is under contract next year. Like it's it works. It's clear that it works. These 2 guys together. I think they're really, really underrated 1A and 1 and 2 combo, I should say. But I like the over on receptions and anytime touchdowns a lot.
Yeah. I really like all these props right here because Jacoby Myers, I think he's been pretty consistent. I was trying to pick up the stats here, but I mean he's been pretty consistent as a player and kind of working it out that way. But he just kind of has to find a way to be more consistent. I feel like he always has like a stupid drop or something stupid, right? And that's why I feel like if Devontae Adams went down, I don't know exactly what they would do. So it'd be a little tough there. But I think Jacoby Myers, he has a chance to kind of grow there and get that over that 4.5, get that receiving yards over 55.5. But 70+ yards, I don't see it. But anytime touchdown, that's definitely something I would take.
Yep, agreed.
All right. Let's just switch up. We got a tight end sighting. We got a tight end. Michael Mayer got over like 40 yards last week, so he got some props bets this week, Glenn. He actually got some prop bets this week. Michael Mayer, he made it on the DraftKings. Didn't get receptions yet. He's growing though. He's growing. We went over Michael Mayer here. Ooh. Receiving yards, 18.5, 50+ yards, plus 500. Anytime touchdowns, plus 550 for Michael Mayer.
Who do the Patriots put on like a tight end? Is it Duggar?
Duggar, yeah.
Okay, he's pretty good. And but 50 yards plus 500. I mean, look, he has what 3 receptions on the air or something like that. It's not. It would be. I get why it's plus 500 to an outside, handicapper, but wow, that is interesting. Because first off, I gotta tell you guys, anytime I saw why do we draft him in the second round? Sam Laporta is so good. If Sam Laporta was on the Raiders right now, he wouldn't have any damn receptions. Like
Exactly.
I'm just letting you know. Like if Michael Mayer was on the Lions right now, stud. It just like you switch them, it doesn't matter. Like
100%.
And I know they traded up to get Laporta before him, but I'm just saying, like I know that's who it's between right now.
Yeah.
Michael Mayer is a beast. The guy is a beast. I've watched him. I'm a Notre Dame Irish fan. Look, we're not doing so hot right now, but he was the best tight end in a string of very good NFL starting tight ends that came through the Tyler Eiferts, the Kyle Rudolphs, those Durham Smythe is even playing for the Dolphins. Like this guy is the best out of all of them. He is very good. And even if this year's not his year, I do think if they make a change at quarterback next year, or even put O'Connell in for a string of games, I think Mayer sees the ball a lot. But man, that I wouldn't do the anytime TD. I wouldn't do that yet.
Yeah.
But over on receiving yards, that's just one play. You think about it, right? Like that's one play. Just you said, can I get one play? He had that last week. I think he had a 20-yard reception last week.
Yeah, he had 20 and over 15 too.
Yeah, so that could just be one play. And I do think McDaniels is going to work him into the script that first 15 plays. I think that's going to become a thing now especially because Belichick's not going to commit anything to Mayer other than Duggar. But if they find a way to get him off of that, we'll see. And 50 yards up, that's plus 500. That's just, you almost have to.
Yeah, because one thing about him too, and I feel like Jimmy misses him a lot on checkdowns. There's so many checkdowns that would just be huge plays if he just looked at Michael Mayer instead of Josh Jacobs.
He's a walk beast too. He can run after the catch. People don't realize this.
Yeah, he's a monster. He runs pretty good routes too, man. I feel like they have to get him involved in the passing game. So I really think they're going to continue to do that just because they saw some growth last week, saw some confidence. I really got to take that over 18.5. I'm not taking the 50+ yards yet. I'm not going to do that because just because Devontae, he demands the ball so much, and Myers, they have a good mix in there. But I don't think anytime touchdown, man. All it takes is a play from the 2. All it takes, a play from the 2, little play action bootleg, little, it's all it takes with the tight end. It's all it takes. So if you're feeling lucky, you might want to take that because I'm telling you, they getting the bootleg, getting 23 personnel, do a little bootleg, thing, and just hit him wide open for a touchdown, and you be like, yes, I hit that. So
you don't know how I have a jersey in the cart on the team store of Michael Mayer, and I just got to see a touchdown or two, and I'm doing it.
You got a 2-point conversion, bro. They did it on a 2-point.
They did. He did get in the end zone at one point. Yes, that is correct. But I gotta see the Mayer Gronk spike replica. I gotta see it, man. They called him Baby Gronk at Notre Dame, and it wasn't overhyped. He was very good, and I gotta see it, man. I gotta see it. It's my guy.
Yeah. They need to make it happen. They need to get the tight ends more involved in the pass.
I remember messaging you in the night they drafted. And I said they nailed it. I said that's the guy.
I love this draft pick because even if McDaniels leaves, the next guy is gonna, yeah, you know what I mean. The next guy is gonna make it happen with him.
100%.
100%. All right, so let's get to the game line here. Guys. Patriots at Raiders. Raiders are favored in this one, as they should be. Minus 155, Patriots plus 130. Point spread, LV, minus 3. Point total, 41. So what do you think of some of these game lines here, Glenn? What are we looking at?
My lock of the week for gambling is the under on this game. Cool. I mean, if the Raiders win this game, I see it being 17-10, 17-6.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they go over 20, and maybe it's 23 to 15. And if they lose the game, it's because they didn't score a damn point. So that's the way that it works. I hope O'Connell is the backup quarterback in this game, which I don't think he will be. It'll probably be Brian Hoyer. I wonder who knows all about Brian Hoyer, Bill Belichick. So it's going to be dumb when they do that. Everyone's going to get mad, and rightfully so. I'm not ready to say that the Raiders cover spreads yet. They're just not. They're not as favorites, at least. They're pretty good as underdogs covering spreads. Yeah. But I like the under a lot, and I do think the boys win, man. I do think the boys get the win. I mean, I'm about 65-35 on that this week, only just because of past games where they were just favorites after like a win and they let us down. That's the only reason. And I think the stadium is people need to realize this about the Vegas stadium. The Vegas stadium, yeah, they're like, oh, all the opposing teams' fans are going to be in there. Yeah, maybe their first visit. I think their first visit is when that big, everyone, it's a novelty playing in Vegas. The Patriots fans file. That already happened last year. They watched Jacoby Myers lateral to Chandler Jones last year. That's pretty funny when you think about where both those guys are right now. But they watched that happen, and then they're really bad this year. I'm not saying they canceled their Vegas trip, but I don't see a flock of Patriots, flocks and flocks and flocks. So I think that's going to die down a little bit. And hopefully the Raiders start winning to create a fan base, because there have been 2 titles in that city. It's not impossible to win in Vegas. So there have been 2 titles in that city. So hopefully they start winning and they start having a bigger home crowd. But I think the boys win this week and it goes under.
Yeah. I feel like the Raiders are the better team. So the Raiders have to come in there and
no question
pull this one out, because the Patriots are basically – what's wrong with the Patriots? They're young, right? They're a young team. They're learning. I don't know if Belichick's going to get another year to figure out if they are young, and they might force him to do the retirement resign thing.
Oh, yeah.
But they're a young team. They got a lot of young players. They got young corners. I know they brought J.C. Jackson back, so, he's back in the system that makes him feel comfortable. We'll see how that works out. In the secondary, he probably try to be matched up with Devontae Adams, but he still used to get worked anyways. J.C. Jackson was always overrated to me. All his interceptions were against the Jets, reverse Sam Darnold.
Right.
So, there's a lot of guys, and it's hard to run the system that Belichick wants to run right now. I think Garoppolo has to figure it out. They're going to have to run the ball, because I don't think Garoppolo's going to have a good day this game.
Right.
Even then, we might see him run around with his chicken head a lot, kind of just trying to. It looks like he's under pressure. He
does run around with chicken heads a lot.
Yeah, that's true. But both.
He's used to that. Yeah,
both. But he's just kind of be running around a little bit, because I think he's going to get confused a couple times. But I still think they're so bad on offense on the other side.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think it's going to be I think it's a Josh Jacobs 2 TD game potential. I think there's a lot of it's going to be a lot of sloppy play. That's why I like the under. I think it's going to be a game that NFL media is like when they talk about it. But if the Raiders are 3-3 after this, game on, new season, right? I mean, even with Jimmy, look, I think nobody's excited about Jimmy, right? No, even if they win, I don't think anybody's going to be like, man, Jimmy's the guy. But this is a chance to kind of start the season over, right? And they've lost to the Bills, and then they've lost to the Steelers and the Chargers, right? And they should have beat the Steelers and the Chargers, but even the Steelers are 3-2. They've been winning ugly all year. There's a weird thing going on in the NFL, but that Bills loss is whatever. You kind of expect that. They're better than you. But now if they can start beating up on these teams, because I am a little bit excited about the defense, just slightly. I think they have they might have the best edge rusher in football right now, or edge player in football, because Parsons doesn't play the run the way Crosby plays the run. It's just not the same. I think they have the most well-rounded, edge defender in the game. It's Crosby and Watt probably, but Crosby's healthier and he's out on the field more, and he's younger. And he gets better every single time. And I think on offense, I don't know, what do the Patriots do to stop Max Crosby? They have to send their entire offense at him. They have to have Hunter Henry in there. It changes the tight ends they can use. Their offensive line is not good. That's what's lost in a lot of this. I remember for the longest time, it was with Brady, they were able to have patchwork offensive lines and kind of get the ball out fast and do a combination of sliding protection. I don't see that anymore with the Patriots. Nope. And there's not a wide receiver on the Patriots that scares me. Hunter Henry is a good player. You can't just leave him wide open. You're gonna have to commit some resources to him. Other than that, it's on defense, they should eat. I want a defensive touchdown in this game. Go get a defensive touchdown. Go strip the ball. Go strip the ball while the Patriots are right after the kickoff, right when they're at the 25 yard line. Go strip the ball. Go get it. Go get a pick. The Saints embarrassed them last week, and the Raiders can do that. They can do that. And I think if it's Mac Jones, he's going to be playing for his job. And Mac Jones playing for his job means he's going to make throws he probably shouldn't make. This is, hey, I got to make the big play. I got to score a touchdown here. I got to have a deep touchdown here. And the Raiders safeties, minus a weird Christian Watson play last week, have been playing really good football. Really good football. I think their corners are solid. They're better than in years past. They have their ups and downs. The linebackers are decent too, But I think this is one of the better Raiders defense in a while, and I love their edge combination. I love Kuntz and Crosby. Give me that all day. Everyone's freaking out about Tyree Wilson. I think he looks like more of a football player every week. It's just me. Like I think it's the foot. I think the foot just looks better. Like he just gets more push off that foot. And there's a couple of plays where that speed showed up when he was chasing Jordan Love, and then the one where he's chasing Justin Herbert. I'm like, hey man, this guy's got that juice. It's not Cleveland Farrell like everyone says. It's not Cleveland Farrell. Everyone says Cleveland Farrell. No, the problem with Cleveland Farrell was that you just couldn't see him get around somebody because he wasn't athletic enough.
Exactly.
Tyree is a different thing. These guys develop into players. Like Cleveland Farrell had a strict ceiling of what he could be as a solid rotational defensive end. So I think there's something to be excited about on the Raiders defense, and they need a statement win this week. That's what they need, is a statement defensive win where not down to the last play, but it was a joke because our defense dominated them 20-3, something like that.
Yeah. I agree with that because I feel like that's how they should win this game, is like 20-3. So I'll take the under 2. Man, I swear, if they let this offense do anything, or if the Raiders offense gives their offense easy possessions, I think that's kind of they can't turn the ball over this game. Not at all.
Not even once. Like not even once. Like it's just the Jimmy, the weird, like that interception he threw last week was terrible in the second half. I mean, it was just so bad. Like you can't do that. And I think it's weird. I think this is their best skill position group I've seen since the 2016. I mean, like it is good. Like, I mean, you have a number 1, number 2 receiver, an emerging tight end that definitely can play, Josh Jacobs. Like the Raiders have 5 of the best players in this game before you get to one on the Patriots roster. Straight up.
I agree. That's why they win the damn game. So
gotta win the game. No, there's no excuse. What I'm basically saying, all that long-winded thing, is that there's no excuse.
They lose this game, man. My instant reaction will be upsetting. It's not gonna be upsetting. Of course, it's always therapy for us Raiders.
It's gonna be my birthday too, by the way. If they lose, it's gonna be on my birthday.
Oh, this can't be on your birthday, man.
They can't do it.
See, I know why I like you, Glenn. You're Libra gang.
Libra gang, man. John Lennon. We got some hitters in ours, man.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. All right. All right. So let's get to the Friday game lines. I think this was kind of the ones we wanted to look at. So we got Lions, Bucks, which I think that's going to be a more interesting game than people think. Cowboys at Chargers, which is, we all can hate watch that one. This could be the most hate watch game ever on Monday Night Football. Ravens, Titans, and Seahawks at Bengals. Now, Lions, Bucks is interesting. The Lions they look very, very good on offense, right? That point total is crazy to me.
Yeah.
That's a crazy point total. So if I'm doing anything with that game, I'm hitting that over on that point total, because there's no way the Lions. What do they think the Lions are going to do? Like, get dominated by the Bucks defense? I'm confused as hell at that point total, because they put up like 35 last week. They put up. I mean, they've been putting up points. Besides the Chiefs game, we obviously figured out the Chiefs had a pretty damn good defense, which I'm upset about. But the Lions are going to score a lot of points. I think the Bucks are a pretty good team too. They're 3-1, I believe. I think this will be a damn good game. I'm going to watch that game for sure in the morning. What are your thoughts about that one?
Yeah, I think the Lions will probably win that game. Although I think the Bucks are better than people. They're better than they're 3-1. I mean, their record is good. I actually think they're kind of good. I think they have a good defense. I think they just I think they've actually adjusted pretty well to like not having Brady. I didn't think they would, but they still have a couple good receivers. Godwin's healthy. Evans is healthy. Baker's a good quarterback for that team, just because he'll throw it to him. Baker Mayfield would be better than Jimmy G right now on the Raiders. He would just hit. He would just throw the ball down the field. That's all. Like it might. No, he would throw picks. Don't get me wrong. Like, it wouldn't be perfect. We'd be complaining, but like there would be a lot more explosive plays. And I think they would have had. They'd be 3-2 right now probably. And so what I'm saying is, like, I think, look, Aiden Hutchinson might be defensive player of the year this year. I mean, he looks really good, and that Lions defense is good. But I expect that game to be close. And I think that point total is one above the Raiders and Patriots. That's insane.
It's the
That's
craziest point total.
Are
I
you
don't
sure?
know.
Did you get that right? Like
I mean, I can look it up again. I'm pretty sure.
I just want to verify.
Because I did look at it like 3 times. I was like, really? Why?
Okay,
Why
so
do they think it's 42?
Yeah. No, I'm gonna take it because I'm gonna take it. Like I didn't see that. Like I'm gonna look right now too. And you are as the afternoon game. It's up to 42.5, but still, yeah, I would take it. No, I thought it was like 52, and you just put the wrong number. No, you're correct. You are correct. No, that game's gonna have points. That game's gonna have points.
No, man. I was looking at it like, what are they watching? What game are we watching? Because I don't know. No. All right, because look at the Cowboys Chargers.
51
is 51, which I know the Chargers don't play good defense, but the Cowboys haven't played that great of offense lately.
No.
Right? I mean, they scored 16 points against the Cardinals. They scored 10 points last week. That's an interesting one. But this game, I'm going Cowboys on this one because for some reason, Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott, they don't lose back-to-back games.
No, I don't. I think nobody can have a regular Cowboys take. They're one of those teams like where it's like, look, the Niners are better than them. I don't know who thought that they were going to be. I didn't. That was the easiest bet last week. Was the Niners -3.5. They're just the Niners are the best team in football without question. Without question. It's not even close right now. So the Cowboys got their ass kicked on the road by the best team in football. They're going to play a Chargers team, which I think they got the horses to stop a Chargers team without Mike Williams. And I don't know if Eckler's playing. It definitely plays in. If Eckler's playing, it gets a little more interesting. But I think the Cowboys can still. Tony Pollard's up there with the league leaders in rushing right now. Like they're not. They have weapons. It's just they are one of those teams that's like good, but when they run into great, it's ugly. Mm-hmm. The Chargers aren't great. They're just not. Like I don't know when people are going to start realizing that Herbert is very good. But he's not going to put the fear in people's heart that he's expected to. And I don't know, at least not in this current framework. Yeah. But I think the Cowboys are going to cover that spread easily. I won't touch the over under. I actually might even go under if I was to, but that's sitting at a weird, that 51's a weird number. Mm-hmm. I don't see any, to me, I think they're pissed. The thing is the Cowboys are going to hear Michael Parsons is mad right now. He's mad at George Kittle's wearing that shirt and stuff. And I'd hate to be playing him after the team that embarrassed them. I think it's going to be quite tough. It's just like, I don't know. It's going to be tough.
I would take the Cowboys and I would take the over because I just feel like this is like the ultimate 28-24 game.
True. That's a good, I could see that being the score.
28-24. That type of score, and
I think it's a good Monday Night Football game. I think it's a good matchup. I think these are two underperforming teams according to the media, because the media thinks the Chargers are going to win the Super Bowl every year, and then they pretend they never thought that, and that Justin Herbert needs more help. They have the best roster in the NFL in August, and then by January, it's how could Justin Herbert ever win with this trash heap that he's got?
Yeah.
It's always funny. It's always funny to me. It's every year they do this. But I just think the Cowboys still have a good defense. The Trevon Diggs injury is really tough for them, but they have Stephon Gilmore still, who's playing good football, and Leighton Vander Esch is healthy. They're going to play ball. They're going to play ball this Monday.
All right, I'm going to skip over Ravens Titans. Let's go to Seahawks Bengals first, because I thought this was crazy too, because I don't know what Vegas has been watching with the Bengals. And I know they beat the Cardinals and they played some pretty good offense last week. And maybe they feel like Joe Burrow is healthy. But the Seahawks are 3-1, and the Bengals are what, 2-3? Or right?
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, they started slow. Yeah.
Okay. This is crazy. So the Seahawks are underdogs. They're on the road. I understand that. But, I mean, Cincinnati's -3, and -155. I feel like there's a little high there. I would take the Seahawks +3. That's what I would do because I just feel like the Seahawks are the better team than the Bengals right now. We'll see. Maybe the Bengals are starting that. I don't know. But I feel like when you start 1-3, it's different than starting 0-2 and then winning your next 2 games and then winning like 5 in a row, right?
Yeah. No, I'm with you. However, I disagree.
Okay.
I think the Bengals win and cover. I think the Bengals are back. I'm just gonna say this much. Okay. I might be emotional because I might allegedly, my lawyer has asked me not to comment on it, but I may have bet allegedly Cardinals money line last week. Hey, sometimes you get sick. Sometimes you get weird, man.
So
Like
yeah, sometimes you do it. Yeah.
I plead guilty by insanity.
Hey,
It was
I'll make you feel better, Glenn. I did the same thing,
no,
so it's
right,
okay.
because you saw how like okay, maybe the Bengals I can steal one more game of this bad Bengals thing. But when Jamar Chase heroically told Joe Burrow, "I am always open. You need to throw it to me." I think he's gonna man. The way the Seattle DBs are talking, and I get it. It's Seattle. You want the chippiness out of the DBs. Jamar Chase is another. He's gonna be. I think he's about to like erupt again. And I think just their defense is really underrated in Cincinnati, even during that losing period. I mean, what they did to that Rams offense, which I think reminds me a little bit of the Seahawks offense a little bit, is just the way they're constructed. I think their offensive line is playing better than their talent, but I also think, man, since he's got those edge rushers, man, Hubbard and Hendrickson.
Yeah.
Hendrickson he like looks insanely impressive to me this year, and I think they're gonna battle. I think it goes over. I think this is gonna be a good game. I could see like a 28-25. I think Burrow's back. I think he's moving around. He was moving around pretty good against Arizona. I think he's back. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I do like the Seahawks now. I just think the Seahawks are better team.
We'll see. We'll talk about it next week. We can circle back to it because I understand why you like Seattle more.
Yeah.
But I just feel like now it's the I think the Bengals are gonna I think they realized it was desperation mode in the AFC, and I think Burrow's just healthy now. I think is the case.
Yeah, I feel that. All right, so last one, Ravens at Titans. Now, Ravens. This is interesting to me because I feel like the Ravens they've been so up and down on offense, and when they're missing the wide receivers, especially like Odell Beckham, those type of guys, they haven't played really well. And the Titans, who knows who's going to show up? What Titans team's going to show up? That's really how it works out. They lost last week, so I still kind of want to go Ravens here, kind of be safe. But I feel like the Ravens are kind of set up where they could lose to the Titans, especially in London. I mean, this game's in London at 6:30 in the morning. Who knows how this game's going to go?
I know. I took a loss on London. The Bills killed me last week in London.
Oh, man.
That was bad. They went down 11-0, and I immediately knew that I wasn't going to.
Well, they went on a Friday. They're idiots. So
yeah, they are stupid. And Jacksonville was already there. That's the travel part. Both teams are kind of in this game, kind of on the same thing. They're not. They're both going there. I'm with you. I kind of think the Titans are gonna just scrounge away a victory. I actually like them covering a lot. If you don't want to take the plus 150 money line, but that's a pretty good money line. 150. Yeah. I like the Lunder. You go under. You go under in London most of the time. It hits. Yeah, you got it. The Lover or the Lunder, whichever one. And you got it. I go under 42.
Okay.
I was so pissed, man. I bet that Ravens minus 4.5 against the Steelers. And the minute Rashad Bateman dropped a touchdown, and then Mark Andrews dropped a touchdown, I was like, this is like classic Steeler Ravens game, and they won. I mean, if that happens again, I think the Ravens are gonna have to make like serious considerations for trading for a wide receiver, kind of like I know there's a couple guys on the market right now. They're gonna have to go get Adam Thielen, go get there's somebody who can catch the ball, and because it's really bad right now. Lamar, I've been critical of. He was not the reason they lost last week. He should have had 4 touchdowns last week, and it just didn't happen. But yeah, I'm taking the under in London. It's early. Both these teams are very liable to get sloppy. They get sloppy a lot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. All right. So those games. Let's get these questions, Glenn.
Let's do it, man.
I just see a lot of questions here. People kind of thinking it. All right. So, are you okay with mortgaging the farm for Caleb Williams?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, of course. I just don't think that you have right now. You have the Bears and the Cardinals both have 2 first-round picks.
Yeah.
They both are likely to be in the mix for that one pick. They're not. They will deny your farm. They will say, no, thanks. We would prefer to have Caleb Williams over a farm.
Yeah.
They would do that. Now, and even the Viking. I mean, there's a lot of teams. Every team that could get one that's bad. Patriots, all these teams that are in there, they're gonna want to get the quarterback. Like it's just kind of one of those things. Like there's for me, it's Drake May is the question. I'll rephrase that question because I know you would too, right?
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah.
Like you would take that. Would you trade the farm for Drake May at number 2? I would.
Yeah.
I think he's a stud. Like people like it's not him or it's either one. Give me either one. He is a stud. Like they say his pro comp is Justin Herbert. I've heard. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
But I'm fine with that. Give me that. Yeah.
Yeah, he is a cannon and he's athletic and he looks like a pretty good dude. Because my whole thing with Caleb Williams is he's a Lincoln Riley quarterback. So we don't know his personality. I don't know if he has an NFL like mindset. That is my only reservation.
The nail painting videos aren't there. I'm gonna try to omit them for as long as I can, but we've had the car eyeliner, like we've had a lot. I'm not saying Drake May is better. I am not saying that. I am saying that Caleb Williams doesn't work on schedule a lot. And that scares me a little bit with that Lincoln Riley offense. But I would, and I absolutely would. I would trade. He's still QB1. You have to.
He's a stud. He's a stud. He's a stud. The only thing that scares me about him is he's a Lincoln Riley quarterback, and I know Lincoln Riley quarterbacks just show up on Saturdays and they play.
Right. No, I agree. I agree. And May could have his issues too. I don't know enough about him as a person, but he tore up Syracuse last week. I watched that whole game. He was just, oh my God. He was just making perfect throws.
Yeah, he was nuts. So my dude asked about some of these quarterbacks. He asked about Shedeur Sanders a couple times and Joe Milton. Now, Joe Milton, I know he's not playing that well that year. I do like Ewers. He talks about on this one. So Penix, Nix, Ewers, or even Joe Milton or Shedeur Sanders. I like Nix and Ewers. Now, I would take Shedeur Sanders all day just because I 100% know how he's going to come and play in the NFL and work just because of who his dad is. His dad's not going to let him embarrass him in the NFL. You're not going to embarrass me as a quarter. You're not going to embarrass my family. So he's going to make sure that Shedeur is a baller. And it's going to be put so much into that if they didn't take Caleb Williams, I would take Shedeur Sanders in a second. Just I know he's going to ball.
How big is Shedeur Sanders? Not very big. He's not very big, is he?
No, I think he's like Jalen Hurts size.
Yeah. No, and that's a good comp. Like they have a similar play. I'm not in love with Shedeur Sanders as a player, but he does throw a really pretty deep ball. I do like the way he throws the ball down the field. Nix, I can't shake the Auburn thing with Nix. It was so bad. Milton's got a cannon. That's a day 2, day 3, like late day 2, early day 3 pick. Like
Milton needs more college football. He needs to play more college football.
Yeah, but isn't he old already? Isn't he like? Or
I don't think so. I think he's a pretty young player.
Ewers, I like. I
like Ewers a lot.
Yeah,
that's somebody. If the Raiders went like 6-11 or something like that, that's the
no. I'm with you on Ewers mid first, like around there. Yeah, for sure.
See, the thing is with people like with Penix and Nix, right? The thing with those two is that they're like 25.
Yeah, Penix is a statue, and he's already got a bunch of hurt injuries. He's just gonna be one of those guys that like win the Heisman, and then I think he's gonna slide on draft day. And people are gonna be like, "Why doesn't anyone draft the Heisman guy?" Every time I watch, it just looks really robotic and stuff. Like it looks okay. And he's left-handed, man. Like it's really hard to watch left-handed quarterbacks. Like sometimes I don't know. It just always looks weird. I think Nix is like a worthy gamble, but there would be parts of me that would be scared of that, like just a little bit.
Yeah, because it always comes down to me. Like if you play college football for 6 years, like how easy is college football at this point for you?
Right. Exactly.
Like Jay Daniels the same way. Like Jay Daniels looks great this year, but he looked like when he was 19 and 20 at ASU. He did not look like this.
Jaden Daniels, I would tell Jaden Daniels to gain like 30 pounds and be Taysom Hill. That's what I would do. No, because he's a runner, man. He can run. I bet the over in that LSU game, the Missouri LSU game, and he hit that with his leg. I mean, he looked like a running back when he was running. Like he had like vision. I was like, man. For me, I would just be like, man, go eat. Like, just go eat and get big, and like you can be like my Taysom Hill. I don't see a. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't like O'Connell's fine because he played a long time, but like get him as a backup. You know what I mean? Like that's where you draft those guys.
All right, so I see getting the proper blocking to run the football. Jacobs. I mean, no, he's not. No. He definitely not. Not consistently.
Mumford though. Let's get him in there.
Yeah, play some damn Mumford, man, please for me. What are the pros and cons for Bo Nix? I think the big con for Bo Nix is just what he played in the SEC. He had terrible decision making. Like playing in the Pac-12 and playing in this Oregon offense that he's in, he runs it really well. I think he's a smart player. I think he has a big arm. I think he actually is pretty accurate when he has the time and he has his mechanics set. But I still think you see the decision making is still iffy. It's like when you played against Georgia. I mean, we all thought he was terrible that week one. There's Bo Nix. We all making all these jokes. Oh, Bo Nix. Right. And then as Oregon went along, it changed up a little bit. So I think that mix with him, who is he really? Is it the Oregon offense and he's 28? Or is it he's getting a lot better as a quarterback? And that's really how you have to look at him. But I still think he's going to go pretty high because I think he has a big arm. He's a big arm. He played in the SEC. He did win some damn games in the SEC. And, the NFL's like, oh, SEC. So they'll convince themselves, like, oh, he won games in the SEC. Yeah. Maybe he wasn't the coach. Maybe it was Gus Malzahn. And those type of things, because the way he played at Oregon, I still think he goes high, though.
And I think they're going to pound Washington this weekend. So I think you're going to really start seeing hype around him.
Yeah, 100%. What do you think as Ben Johnson as a coaching candidate for next season? I would like that. I would, because with the rookie quarterback, I think he runs a lot of play action, to be honest. Yeah. His offense is pretty good. To me, though, with the coaches, I talked about this on my last week when I did a Q&A. I need a damn leader, bro. I just want somebody that men just like love. They're just like, yeah, they just want to run through a wall through his ass. I don't care what scheme you have. You know what I mean? But Ben Johnson, if he can do that, if he's a damn leader, maybe Dan Campbell has rubbed up on him a little bit, and he can kind of has that edge. Because I feel like this is what Raiders need too. They need a Raiders coach that has that Raiders edge to him, and is a damn leader of men, and that's what the Raiders need. I really like Dan Quinn for that, but I think Ben Johnson would be a good guy for scheming, and if he could bring the leadership with it too. He'll work Devontae Adams open. If they decide to whatever rookie quarterback, you're going to see a lot of play action. He's not going to try to make that guy do drop steps and throw 20-yard digs on his first throw of his career. And then, those type of things, he's not going to do that. So I think Ben Johnson has a chance to kind of mix it up. But, I want a damn leader, though.
I like Ben Johnson a lot. I do. I don't know anything about some of these guys. That's the problem, is you don't know until they get there. Like, people are laughing about Jonathan Gannon, right? We were laughing about him, but look at, like, they play hard for him. You know what I mean? They go out there and they play harder than I've seen them ever play for Cliff Kingsbury. And then also Shane Waldron. Keep an eye. I like Shane Waldron.
I do like Shane Waldron.
I like Shane Waldron. I mean, you're talking about Drew Lock coming in and looking good like that. These are the I want. My thing is like, can you make mid good? Like, on as far as quarterback, can you make mid solid or even like bad solid?
Yeah, right.
Like, I'm not saying, look, Geno Smith's I'm sure he's done a lot of work. He's doing Dr. Sebi stuff. I respect it, but like, there's a lot of stuff that he's been doing that I like a lot. But like, once Drew Lock came in and looked okay, I was like, Shane Waldron is the guy.
Exactly. This is the funny one. What if Gruden came back? That would be hilarious. To be honest, that would be the ultimate Raiders thing.
You're not the GM. That's my answer. Then you're not the GM. Like, because I'm fine with him coaching. I fine with him coaching the team.
Yeah, 100%. To be honest, I'm with you on that, Glenn. I think I'm fine with him coaching the team. You just can't pick players because you traded Khalil Mack. So whatever that was. God,
Alex Leatherwood was good. Mm-hmm.
Damon Arnett.
Tanner Muse. I mean, the list goes on. The list goes on. Frosty Rucker, my starting defensive end. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I can't. People miss him now. I get it. McDaniels doesn't look like he runs a very fun team, so like I get that. But you cannot pick any players. And I honestly, I barely even want you to put the roster together.
You can't come to the draft room. You have to go, like, You have to stay at home. You have to watch it for the TV.
Yeah.
We draft.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, man. I think we are out of here. We're almost at an hour 10. I really appreciate you guys coming. We got a lot more questions, a lot more interactive. Definitely appreciate you guys in the comments. And I hope you guys enjoy this show. We'll do more. Like I said, we'll get the questions at the end. So if you guys are here to ask questions, just keep asking them. Stay with the show. We'll be here answering those questions at the end. This is basically this is what it is, guys. It's Friday Night Live. We go over gambling, question and answer, whatever you guys want to do. We do that. So just stick with us and enjoy the show. And I appreciate you guys coming in, hanging out with us. And like I said, subscribe. We're almost at 10,000.
Nice.
All these other Raiders channels out there that I see with like 20,000, and all they do is talk about you know what I'm talking about. So get us to 10,000. Show us some love too, and let's do this thing.
Absolutely. Right? Just win, baby. Let's get the win this weekend. Let's get back to 500.
Let's get the damn win. Let's get the damn win here, guys. All right, we're out of here. Peace.